Hey everyone, North Central here. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a while since I did a video and I apologize for that. I did a lot of videos down in the basement on bringing the plants and stuff up and what I planned on doing and what I planned on planting for the season. I didn't get to get out here in the springtime and have the camera with me to plant things, and I apologize for that, but the weather was so strange. It just rained and rained and rained, and I didn't have a lot of time with work and sports with the kids and running my butt around everywhere. So I got what I got planted, and the rest of it I didn't. I got most of it, but I'm going to take you around here today, show you what I have, what's been going on. Everything's been planted for at least a month or so, and pretty much doing good. You can see a lot of green behind me. So let's get the camera, get down here, get at it right now. Let's start here with the planter that I've got up next to the side of the house. It's about 16 or 17 feet long, 3 feet out. I put a lot of dirt in here. This is the planter that was around the side of my house, and my wife just flat out told me that it was an eyesore and I couldn't have it around there anymore, so I had to move it, and I moved it back here to the back. She was happy and fine with that, but took a little bit to move all the dirt and everything, a couple days, but it finally came out and it's here. Planted these, and these are Kentucky Blue green beans, same green beans that I planted last year that I had really good success with, and they're taking off and doing really well. In the front here, and you probably can't see it on video, so let me bring the camera in a little bit closer. Front, just right up next to the green beans here, I planted 2 little rows, and I staggered them, of little green lettuce by Burpee, and none of them came up. So there's no real sense in even talking about those. The next line here, these green things here that you see, these are the mammoth dill plants that I got from Burpee. And these are what I'm going to use whenever I make my dill pickles. And I'll show you the cucumbers that I have growing here in just a moment. But they're doing well. Most of them have come up, and that will be enough for me to do what I want to do with the pickles that I'm going to make later on this season. Line, these big leaf plants right here, these are cucumbers. These are pickle barrel cucumbers. They are hybrid from Burpee. I wanted to give them a try. Last year I grew the Boston Picklers, which did really well, but I wanted to try something different this year and stay with just the Burpee product. And so I came across these, and we'll see how they do. I got them in the ground just a little bit late, but they seem to be doing pretty well. So let's take a look here at what I have in the front here, and we'll move on down. These are the pickle barrel from Burpee, and here in the front, if you can see these little tiny green things coming up, these are beets. I have absolutely no luck at all with beets. I've tried them almost every single year, and it doesn't look like I'm going to have any luck with them this year either. I don't know, it's got to be the soil, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of research and try to figure out what it is that I'm doing wrong. But that's what these 2 rows are here supposed to be. They go all the way down, and they're supposed to be beets. Now over here to the left, I forgot to show you in front of the green beans. Let me just pan the camera around a little bit. These, not all these little tiny green things, you have to forgive me. I've been on vacation for about the last week and a half. Me and the family went out of town, and so I've got a lot of weeding to do. But these long green things here, these are evergreen long white onions. They're bunching onions by Burpee, and I thought I would give the onions a try and see how I had my luck with those. But that's what's in this right here. So I've got my my dill weeds up in the front. I have 2 rows of evergreen onions here, and then I've got my beets going down the rest of the front. Cucumbers, green beans. So let's move on down here and see what's I got going on in the back. In the back, and you can see the fencing that I got put up, and this is just the tomato cages that I made. I'm not using them this year, so I decided to use them just as a trellis system here going up. But these green things back here in the back, these are easy peasy, at least that's what the tag says. These are easy peasy peas from Burpee. and I've got a whole line of them here that hopefully is going to trellis up to this. And that's all I've got in this planter. So I've got the green beans, the cucumbers, the easy peasy peas, the dill plants, the onions, and the in bad shape beets. The beets are actually Detroit dark red beets, and we'll see how they do. But that's it for the planters. Let's get to the peppers and to the tomatoes. Start right here with these two plants. I've got 2, 2, 2, and 2, so a total of 8 pepper plants, 4 different varieties. These are the savory sweet peppers from Burpee. They are a hybrid, and they're doing really well. Now, one thing you have to understand about the pepper plants that I planted this year is early on, just right about a week or so after I got these planted, I was in here mowing, and I took the fence down that's behind me. And I left it down overnight. I forgot to put it back up, and a deer came in here and ate these plants, took the tops right out of them and almost all the leaves. Miraculously, these are pretty hardy plants. And they resprouted and have come up like a wildfire. And right now there are little buds and peppers all over these plants. And I'm going to get the camera down here a little bit closer to show you some of this. Alright, so this is kind of an up close look here. And if you can see all these little white flowers that are starting to bud out now. They've had buds on them for a while, but these ones are really starting to bud out. There's a little white flower there. And they're just all over it. But they do have some peppers on them too. Like this one right here. There's a nice little bunch. This little yellow one right here. These peppers grow straight up. So these are almost like a banana pepper, an original banana pepper that grow straight up. Now you're supposed to be able to get orange and red and purple and all kinds of different colors out of these, and I'm growing these so whenever we do hot pepper jelly later this year, me and my wife, we can have a lot of different color varieties and stuff in it. So, but this is one of the plants. The top of it was taken right out, and this thing just sprouted new limbs up, and now it's all over the place. And it's going to be a great plant. So is the one here right next to it. So these are the savory sweet peppers by Burpee. They're kind of like a multicolored banana pepper. And let's move on over here and look at the other plants that I got. A bird's eye view of these two nice looking plants right here. These are Great Stuff bell peppers by Burpee. They are hybrids, and again they got the tops of them taken out. Okay, almost all the leaves were eaten off and the tops of them were taken out, and I don't know if you can see that right there or not. Right there where my finger's at, that's where the top was eaten out, and it sprouted a new top, and now they're starting to grow. They've got buds on them. This one's got a little flower here and a little flower over here, so they're going to be okay. They're going to produce some peppers. They were just stunted a little bit. But these are the Great Stuff bell peppers by Burpee, and you know, as of right now they're still growing, so we'll wait a little bit longer in the season and see how much they produce. Okay, well, these are jalapenos, and these are the big jalapenos from Burpee. Again, they are a hybrid, and again they had the tops of them eaten out. You can see this in just now sprouting here on the top. It was eaten out just right there. This one right over here, my finger's at, that's where it was chomped off, and it sprouted a new limb coming up. So they're going to start producing here pretty soon. I see little buds on some of them. They are still growing. Peppers take a while to grow, I know. But these are the jalapeno, giant size jalapenos from Burpee. And just so you know, all of my peppers and all of my tomato plants, I have these automator things that I got, and I really like these things a lot. They make it to where you can just let the weeds grow all in this bed, and right here around the plant, nothing can grow here. Nothing can grow underneath this, and it makes the plants easier to maintain. And then I come out here in the morning, I fill this up with water. It goes down to these 4 little divots here, if you can see those okay. They have holes down in them. And whenever I planted these, I put fertilizer down underneath in the hole of these divots, and then put this down on top of it. So the water goes into the divots, through the fertilizer, and down into the rest of the bed where the roots are. And the plants really seem to like it a lot. So hopefully these jalapenos will do well. I'm still not sure about this plant. This plant was literally eaten almost all the way down to the stalk and just had a few leaves on it. So it's now sprouted a new limb up, and hopefully it's going to take off and start producing here within about the next month or so. So we'll show you that whenever it starts doing that. Let's move on over to the other two pepper plants. All right, a little bit different view here. These are my blazing banana peppers from Burpee. Again, another hybrid. All the peppers are hybrids this year. And you have to forgive me. I got home a couple of days ago, and I came out here and I mowed grass in here with the weed eater yesterday, and it was late, and I didn't get all of it done. But I still got a lot of dead grass laying around, a lot of it in the bed. But these are the blazing banana peppers from Burpee. They're about a medium grade heat. Not personally, I don't think they're very hot at all. But nice big yellow leaves. I did the same thing with these. I got the fertilizer, I got the water, and I'm trying to baby them as much as I can to make sure they're going to produce. They don't look anything like they did last year. Now these plants, when the deer came in here this year, they took every leaf and right down to the nub. So I ended up having to actually replace these two plants with ones that I had still down in the basement. Luckily I kept a couple of these, and you know, they're making it. They're putting out new leaves. Got little tiny buds going on. The leaves down here are getting kind of yellow. The ones down here in the bottom have actually fallen off. So they're not doing real well, but they are growing. So hopefully they put out some nice banana peppers, and I can stick them into jars later on and make banana peppers for my pizza this summer. We'll see. Let's jump on over here to the tomatoes. Tomatoes. I planted 6 tomato plants. All of them are the same variety. These are the Super Sauce tomato plants by Burpee, another hybrid from them. I had really good success with them the last couple of years. I'm really impressed with these tomatoes. Let me go ahead and bring the camera in a little bit closer, and I'll show you some of the tomatoes that we've got so far that's growing on the vines. All right, we've got this nice little cluster right here, and get my hand in there for a little bit of a, see what they look like. Big one there, a couple more down below. Now with these 3 plants, these are in this little bed here. I've let one sucker down near the bottom grow up, so I actually have 2 tops coming up. One here and one here. This one's just now putting off flowers and is going to start flowering. This one's grown up. It's way up here to the top of my stake that's going down the center of my my racks here. Very vigorous plant, very nice plant. They produce pretty good tomatoes. I mean, they're really good for making salsas or putting on just a slice of bread and chowing down. These things are just fantastic. They do need a little bit of maintenance. They sprout a lot of suckers. Like I said, this one I'll let one sucker near the bottom grow up on all 3 plants, and I've cut them down to where on these tomato plants I only have, out of each cluster, 2 tomatoes growing. As soon as 2 tomatoes start popping out, I cut the rest of the flower stem off, and that's it. And I did that just for a test. I want to see how many tomatoes I can do on these plants. So this one's actually got 2, and then on another cluster it's got another one up there at the top. But plant's doing well. Nice big green leaves coming out everywhere. Plenty of fertilizer in them. The beds that I made up with my supercharged soil that I say that I make, with my compost that I make in the composter, and these things are great. Let's move on down to the other bed and I'll show you some of those tomatoes. My second bed of tomatoes, 3 plants here, 1, 2, 3, and I've got, just like I did over on the other side, I kept them down to just 2 tomatoes per cluster. Now with these plants, I've taken off all suckers. Any sucker that comes out, I take it off, so it's only got the 1 stem coming all the way up. And whenever it reaches the top of my stake here, I'll go ahead and I'll top it. This one's getting really close. Same thing with the other 3 plants. Nice big green leaves, just like on the other one. Got the automators down at the bottom with the fertilizer and stuff underneath of them, the supercharged soil. Everything looks great. Again, these are the Super Sauce tomatoes from Burpee. and growing just fine. Now let's take a look at the eggplants that I planted. Plant. It's got grass all over its leaves, which is probably not real great for it. But this is one of the 2 eggplants that I did. I got them again in these cages. I'm not using the cages that I made for my tomato plants. These cages are a lot easier and they're pretty affordable. They're about $7.50 a piece at I believe it was Lowe's, and they just make life a little bit easier with these type of cages. I'm still putting to use my cages over there, of course, on the Easy Peasy Peas, but using these cages here on the tomatoes and the eggplants. Now you can see I've got the little bulbs coming down here, and that one's going to form an eggplant. This one's going to form an eggplant. But this plant's been a little bit slower than the other one. The other one does have a automator tray on it. This one doesn't. I only had so many, and this was the only plant that didn't get one, so I'm going to have to order some more. I just didn't want to do it this year. Get some grass off of it. But I water it, and it just hasn't taken off like the other one has. So eggplant, this is the meatball. This is the new meatball from Burpee, a hybrid. Let's go over and take a look at the other one of what an eggplant should look like. Alright, so the meatball from Burpee, a hybrid. This is kind of what it should look like. Now these leaves have been eaten. I don't like spraying insecticide on my plants, and I don't want that getting into the fruit that they produce, so I just choose not to do it. I do come out here fairly regularly and try and pick and kill whatever bugs that I can, but you know, you can't get them all. They're just all over the place. So the leaves get eaten a little bit, and you know what, that's okay. Bugs got to eat too. But this one is really producing eggplants. And let me reposition the camera and show you the 2 or the 3 that's on this plant growing right now. All right, so here in the front you can see some of the flowers, and they got really pretty flowers. I mean, really pretty purple flowers. Down here near the bottom, if you can see that, is one of the fruit. Now this is an eggplant off of an eggplant. It's a small one. It's not ready for eating or anything yet. Here's another one here right beside it. And then again, there's another one behind that one. So I've got 3 here with 2 more flowers that's putting out. That's going to put off some more up here near the top. I've got some more buds getting ready to come out. This is what an eggplant should look like. Great big, huge, nice green leaves. Of course, this one's got holes all over it because the bugs have been eating it. But this is definitely what one should look like. It's taking off and doing well. Last but not least, I didn't want to leave out my strawberry patch. This is the old potato planter that I had a few years back. And, you know, potatoes are so cheap and easy to get from the stores that I just decided that it wasn't worth growing them. So I put these strawberries in. Strawberries cost a little bit more to get. And this spring, now these are ever-bearing strawberries. This spring, these things put off a whole butt ton of strawberries. Now this is their 2nd year, and from what I understand, they really start taking off in their 3rd year. So next year these things really ought to produce. But just wanted to show you this as the last thing that I have in the garden. The pepper plants, the tomato plants, the eggplants, the green beans, the cucumbers, the peas, the dill plants, the onions, and the Detroit red beets. And that's it. Nothing in containers, nothing hanging anywhere, just in the planters, the raised bed planters that I have. So that's the tour, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.